Hey, what's up? I got some more lore content for you guys. We have some very powerful decks to talk about this time around. Now that the meta has stabilized a bit, we see what the best decks are, and what ones are looking to be truly problematic for the near future. Looking at you, Warden, which I'm going to cover along with a few others. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. That way you have a good understanding of what's strong, whether you want to play the best decks themselves, or if you want to know how to counter them. Let's see what these strong decks are, shall we? Welcome to Meta Report. And starting us off with one that I am a little bit familiar with, Jarvan Gnar Warden, coming in with a win rate of 59.01% and a play rate of 3.93%. Oh yeah, this one is pumping numbers. Its best matchups include Lissandra Volibear, Janna Targon, Seraphine Janna, and also Annie Janna. The worst matchups are Nidalee, Teemo Elusives, Annie Samira Burn, and also Annie Samira Zed Burn. So yeah, nearing 60% win rate. Obviously this deck is very strong. It is also the one that I use to hit diamond with like 70 to 80% win rate myself, so I can attest to the strength of this deck personally, and I highly recommend trying it because it's not too difficult. So let's break it down. What we want to be doing is playing different tribes over the course of the game, and then using Warden of the tribes as just like a really big winding light slash kind of like a champion strength game ending effect built onto a body. Bonus points if you have another overwhelm unit on the board or weapon, or a scout unit slash scout weapon to really double dip on the Warden of the tribe's big bonus to his stats. So basically we're just playing a bunch of premium units that are a bunch of different tribes. So we have Poros, we have Bird, we have Dog, we have Elite, we have Weapon Master, we have all that kind of stuff. So we basically have like a melting pot or hodgepodge of just all these different units coming together in very strong combat regions as well, being Demacia and Freljord, right? Offering really good combat tricks and also just buffs and strike utility in general, being really nice. So we have Lonely Poro generating us more Poros, which is really good for the early game, can kind of just like slam and then play a bunch of dudes. Also really nice to play the Poros in the mid game, and then you can hit them with the Warden as well. So it's not even that bricky to have a couple Lonely Poros in your hand. It's actually pretty nice. Triple Omen Hawk, which is really good because we can play this on 1 and try to play like a buffed 2-drop, or we can play like buffed Weapon Masters or like buffed Badger Bear on 3/4, and that feels really good too. Hydrocyte Broadwing 203 Formidable. This is like the only tribeless unit. We're just using it because it's premium. It's like the best card in the regions, especially with what we're trying to do, which is like beat down and control the board. So Broadwing just does everything for us, except for provide a tag. Triple Single Combat, of course, since we are in Demacia, we want that. 1 random Sky Splitter, 2 mana, give an ally 1/3. Really nice. Don't want to like triple dip on this or even double dip, as we just want to see it every once in a while. 1 Darken Spear, which is cool because it doubles up as a Darken in case we need to see that. Yeah, really nice. Double Blocking Badger Bear, this one's an Elite and also premium body, very good. Cataclysm. Now this is something that I'm not seeing on some of the lists on Runeterra AR. I highly recommend running Cataclysm because it does 2 really important things that people may not realize. The first one is it gives you a second win con. After you develop Warden and you have like big overwhelm and stuff, like let's say you block and you just get barely blocked enough to where the opponent survives the lethal, well then you can Cataclysm for 3 and strike with any of your other overwhelm units, which is really nice as well. You can repick the Warden and have him hit again, and then you can just close out that way. Or the more important thing that people aren't realizing is that you can Cataclysm Scout token on defense turns. So if you have a Scout on the board or any of your Weapon Masters get the Scout weapon, which is pretty common by the way, you do Cataclysm on defense and then you target your Scout unit, and that will cheat the attack token because that counts as a Scout attack, giving you a true attack for the turn, which is really broken. Like that's like 3 mana rally essentially, as long as your unit doesn't die as like an interaction to Cataclysm, which if you're playing this in the right time, it won't happen. Just a very broken card. Make sure to run Cataclysm. Next we have Faithful Wolf Dog, which is a dog and also pretty good weapon synergy since we are playing Weapon Masters, and also the Anaka weapon, so it's nice that this can come up every once in a while, forge the weapon, and just be another body for us. Innovative Blacksmith Weapon Master, really good in burn matchups because she's a heal. Getting the weapons is really good. Ideally you want to go for Scout or Overwhelm because those are the best synergies for Warden, and also if you want to use Cataclysm. Combat Cook, pretty much the same thing as the Blacksmith. Weapon Master, but also forges the weapon, so really good for like getting Scout or Overwhelm and then putting it on something else later. Gnar is just in here because he's Yordle tag, which is pretty cool, and also he's an Overwhelm unit that we can use for a Warden finish, and the Poke Stick is also nice utility. Same with Wallop, having multiple Gnar feels really good with this deck actually. Ranger Knight Defector, which is like one of the most broken cards in the deck as well. Just like Petricide Broadwing, however, this one has a tag, so she's even better for us. And also weapon synergy, so we can get Scout, use Cataclysm to cheat Scout attack, and then we can also put like Overwhelm on her, and that seems really broken as well, especially when Warden hits and does a big buff. Glacial Saurian Reptile, so another unique tag, and also Overwhelm. Really good overall, also gives you a draw. Double Harsh Winds because we want the extra protection utility, slow down the opponent. Also quick attack and stuff like that is super valuable right now, so like Harsh Winds is really good into a bunch of decks. There's quick attack, you can slow down elusive damage, just like pretty much do everything. Really good card. One Screeching Dragon because it's a dragon, can help control the board, can put a weapon on him if a weapon master dies, and then Screeching will just be like a challenger plus big dragon dude with the weapon on him. Just kind of overall really insane. Triple Jarvan, he's an elite, which is really nice as well, just like our blocking Badger Bear. He gets to open attack and then also levels, gives you Cataclysm, so you can use Cataclysm to win the game in the same way as hard running it. What's really cool is if you scout attack, that will pull Jarvan out of your hand, and then you still have your regular attack for the turn. So like Ranger Knight Defector open on 6 is actually really strong, because Jarvan will grab something, and then you get to attack again with the Ranger Knight Defector, plus Jarvan, plus anything else you have on your board that has been developed, and then any spell mana in your pocket for like singles or the Sky Splitter, and it's just kind of insane from there. And then we have Warden of the Tribes, of course, our win con, really big beat stick, and makes all of our other units really big beat sticks. Love that. Again, really good with Scout, and really good with Overwhelm synergies. So I'll probably get some questions like, why not more Sky Splitters, why not form-ups and stuff like that? Well, it's because we're going to be playing our units on curve for the most part in the early mid game and all the way until the end, so we don't have a lot of time to really float for the extra mana, and if we want to use the Sky Splitter, the single, or the Cataclysm just like one time throughout any particular game, so we don't really need to have like, oh, a bunch of Sky Splitters and a bunch of form-ups, because we're not really floating the mana to do that. We want to play a 1-drop unit on 1, a 2-drop unit on 2, a 3-on-3, a 4-on-4, and so forth. We're not really using spells till like turn 5 onwards. And even then, we have things that we want to play on curve, you know, as well. So that's kind of why the spells add up to the way that they are in this list. And that's it for the deck rundown. Now here's a live commentary game so you can see how the deck plays out. I'll be giving context while I'm playing certain cards, and hopefully it gives you a good feel on how to play the deck. So for the example game, we're going to be fighting a very popular matchup, and also it is good into us. So this is going to be a really good showcase on how to win one of the rare bad matchups for Warden, and it all stems from Blacksmith, to be honest, and Cataclysm as well. So we're going to pitch the other two. These are like the two main components for actually beating Wildfire Printer. So we will be doing a Lonely Portal on 1, hoping they don't have Navori Blade Scout, I think his name is. Sebo. Sebo's fine. We just need to heal and then pressure and cheat. By cheat, I mean cheat the Scout attack token. We're not going to like hack or anything. But if I could hack and take all the wildfires out of the deck, that would be kind of funny. However, what we're going to do is just a Broadwing on 2, and then Blacksmith on 3, heal, and then try to play more weapons and stuff. Getting multiple weapon masters is so good into them. Bonk. Sky Splitter. Zed. Oh wow. Zedorino. So we can do Porofly and Sky Splitter, which guarantee kills the Zed, or we can play the Blacksmith and try to get exactly what? Pot of Pain? That's the only thing that protects her from Zed. Yo, I'm not willing to take that risk. So it looks like it's going to be a Cataclysm or a Sky Splitter Porofly. We'll go this route. Yeah, so if we do like this, what's going to happen is Sky Splitter will still strike back for 3. Like, it's going to look a bit weird because of quick attack, and we need to prevent damage over here, so we're going to jump block that. Sky Splitter. So we'll take the 3, and then we'll strike back, killing it. Just always be mindful of quick attack versus your Formidable, by the way. You take damage first and then strike back. But yeah, that was good. We just needed to kill the Zed. And then we're going to swing back into the duo. We could probably open attack and do that. That way we get ahead on the trade before they play something. And then play Blacksmith after. Try to go for Scouts, ideally. Precious Pet, cool. Blacksmith. And we got Pot and Combat Reel. I'll take Pot of Pain. And now what I want is more Weapon Masters. That way we can keep the healing going. And also Warden, hello. I guess it's just gonna be Saurian or single. This is very interesting. Let's go ahead and do something like Cataclysm, and then just swing into the 2/2 like that. And then we can put 0/1 in front of 4/2 and also single combat the 2/1. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I just need to prevent damage. Yeah, their wildfires aren't like super ramped up yet. So as long as we remain nice and defensive, we'll be okay, probably. It's a bit annoying. I don't like the demo. Can't really outplay it though. So what we do is this. Single here, here. Puts me down to 12. That way we kill this unit, and then we're also cheating the block here, and then it's dying round end. Wolf Dog, I guess we can just play. I'd rather play it next turn, though. Yep, there's one Wildfire. As long as they don't draw, like, refill, and they just top deck, like, 4 or 5 1-drops in a row, we could actually just win for free with no problems. Let's do Saurian. Nice, another Warden. I guess we just, like, really win on 8. Ringblade. If I send it, then I can put the pot on the Wolf Dog. Not really worth. Let's just do this. Pop. We're just gonna punch him and then play Harsh Winds. Another. Okay, I'm on all 3 Warden. That's a bit weird. So we're gonna go ahead and do Harsh Winds here and here. And then we can block here. Well, I guess like this then, if I'm gonna go that route. That way I take less damage on my living unit. Like that, and just prevent all. And then we'll do Wolf Dog, put the Pot of Pain on the Wolf Dog. Pain, Wolf Dog. Yeah, I'm just trying to prevent any damage as I can. That's why I'm not killing the Zed. I'm just gonna make sure I live with as much HP as possible and go into a Warden play. Wildfire. 2. Next one deals 3, puts me at 6. Alright. Warden of the Tribes. Play either of the buffed ones. 9-6 Overwhelm, 11-11 Overwhelm, so that's 20 Overwhelm plus 1 impact. That's pretty good into them, I would think. Could even be game winning. All I did was play as defensive as possible, and then transition into an aggressive play.
If they don't break, they'll burn.
Yep. Pretty sure we're good with that. Just gotta make sure we keep our overwhelms up, and then we would have enough damage here. Very good, very good.
Ends here.
Where are you going?
Oh! -1. I love that. GG. Yep. Big damage. And the next deck we have is the one that we just fought, Annie Wildfire Printer. With a win rate of 53.82% and a play rate of 2.76%, it is also a very solid climbing choice. Its best matchups include Ashe LeBlanc, Annie Janna, Bard Janna, and Lissandra Volibear. The worst matchups of this deck are Scouts, Teemo Yuumi, Jinx Neela, and also Jarvan Illaoi. So yes, it's completely optional to run Zed in here as well. You can do like a 2-2-2, you can do like a 3-2-1. I'm just going to be covering the version that's on the website, which is just Annie and Samira. So all it wants to do is go full Unga Bunga aggro with all of its 1 and 2 drops, and then finish the game using a ramping Wildfire and also units that kind of like draw the wildfires from deck that you put back in, and also a spell that draws your wildfires. So it's really, really interesting. Let's look at all the wildfire synergy cards. We have the Spirit of Wuju, which is a flow, I cost 2 less, when I'm summoned, draw a spell. Since we're only running 6 spells, which are 3 Wildfire and 3 Rejuvenating Breeze, we're always going to hit one of them, which means we're always getting to our Wildfire. Kind of insane. Rejuvenating Breeze, burst, heal your Nexus 3, and draw 2 spells. So you're going to draw like double Wildfire, or you can draw like 1 Breeze, 1 Wildfire, or you can draw Breeze, and then those breezes will guarantee the Wildfires from now on, and then you just have to do a little bit of ramping and draw them back and then just keep playing them, and you kind of win from there. So yeah, it really does just like all in, send all your dudes unga bunga aggro as much as you can, as fast as you can, and then just close out with infinite wildfires on like a random defense turn, or like a random, when your opponent's on defense turn, they can't do anything about it, you just slam. So in order to get there, we have Annie, who's nice and aggressive, and she also has the slow speed synergy, so the wildfires are going to be good, and she can level sometimes. Legion Saboteur, direct damage and also skill synergy for Annie. Navori Blade Scout, elusive, direct damage. Precious Pet, fearsome, direct damage. Sparring Student, who's really nice since we are slamming a bunch of 1s and 2 drops, that way Sparring Student's going to amp up and be pretty annoying. The opponent has to block him or take his like 3 or 4 damage to face. Wildfire, of course, which is an amping damage spell. Play it, put another one back in your deck, it's going to be stronger later. Play that one, put one back in your deck, it's going to be stronger later. Keep cycling, keep getting stronger, and then all of a sudden it's going to be crazy. You only have to resolve 6 wildfires from full HP to kill someone, so usually you get the job done with like 4 once you do a lot of damage in the early and mid game. And then Green Glade Duo, which is like the same thing as Navori Blade Scout, but also combined with Sparring Student, just ramping direct damage. Samira, who gives us damage, and also I guess she can level and rally at some point. I haven't really come across this too much, so I don't think Samira rally is a feasible option every single game, but it can come up since we are playing a lot of cheap stuff and playing a bunch of wildfires and drawing and then playing more. So yeah, she's just extra damage. Really, really good with the flare, of course. Any chip that we can get down on the opponent is going to really, really stick. Triple Spell Slinger, 2/1/1 fearsome damage, and also stun synergy, and has a stun, does a stun. Really cool with Stagehand as like a combo, but also just multi-stuns. Basically like this deck's version of Sunhawk, I guess. So that's pretty cool. And then of course we have Stagehand, yeah, another stun unit. You can combo this with Spell Slinger and like kill something from 2 HP, or you can just stun multiple things and then full send. River Shaper, strike draw spell, so this is another wildfire synergy card. River Shaper really good there, being able to get either your breeze or your wildfire, that way you can keep amping. Shadow Assassin, just vanilla draw, it's like a 1-of, also elusive, so it comes up. It's just kind of costly, so that's why it's only a 1-of. And then of course we have the breeze and the Spirit of Wuju, like I mentioned, getting your wildfires spam going. And that's it for this deck rundown. Now here's a live commentary game so you can see how the deck plays out. And for this one we have Heimer Jace, which is really strong because they have a bit of healing if they're playing Piercing Darkness, and they also have tons of removal for us. So this should be a pretty good counter. We have Precious Pet, Sparring, River Shaper, which I love. We can probably pitch Spirit of Wuju and just try to go for triple 1-drops attacking on evens, a classic aggro strategy. Or we can play double ramping units, Sparring into Green Glade. No, I like triple 1-drops. We'll lead with Precious Pet because that's the least committal. And then we'll do Sparring, which could bait a Mystic Shot. And then Annie. Yes, if I played Sparring first, then we could have a potential 3/3 Sparring Student. But what I'm trying to do here is just bait any removal that I can. Quietus here, and then like Mystic here, and then we play Annie. Because I want Annie to live. Because she's really nice on her attack calls. They can't really do anything about her early, other than try to block with like French fries or something. Yes, Soul Harvest. There we go. Now, do not also have Quietus. Because I want my Annie to live. Yeah, I just took the unit ordering that kept my Annie alive. Or like the highest % chance to do so. And we get to keep a Precious Pet too. River Shaper immediately. Or Green Glade Duo plus Wildfire. I like Green Glade Duo Wildfire.
Hang on, Buzzball.
Put the next one back in the deck. Aftershock? Yeah, that is reasonable. That is very reasonable. Since they're not on 6, we can actually develop River Shaper next turn. And then try to send it. If Annie manages to die, that's okay. I think she did a pretty good job. Because like they could play Jace on 4, but yeah. They're going into 4 floating 1, which means no 6-cost spell, which means no Shock Blast, which means I can develop. Normally you can't. Normally you have to open and then just die to Mystic Shots and stuff, but I'm going to try to develop so I can die to, I don't know, Quietus and Soul Harvest instead. It's like a lose-lose situation, but it is what it is. Go ahead and play a River Shaper. And Sabo. I like Sabo first then.
I have my orders.
That way we can protect the River Shaper. I think the like summon ordering really matters in this deck. Just like that exactly. That's top deck Mystic, which makes our River Shaper safer. So if he's able to live, that's going to give us a Wildfire, which means our unit ordering is just kind of like Turbo Smurf. Or they just have everything. Nope, they do not. That's good. Let's get our extra Wildfire then. My unit ordering is like Giga Smurf this game. Kept Annie, she's pumping skills. And now they have to choose River Shaper or Annie. River Shaper or Annie. They have to block one. So yeah, we're going to be in a pretty nice Wildfire spot. We really need to get to Rejuvenating Breeze, and I think we could just win outright. Because we've done a good job. Turns 1 through 4. All things considered versus very hard control deck. Right. Cool. Give me Breeze. Give me Breeze. Give me Breeze.
From the river folk. The waters are still.
That's pretty good. We're going to try to go for Annie level then. We just need one more. I guess I could have kept my last Wildfire in my hand. Ooh, hello. Hello, that's really good. Because that's an Annie level. And then I would have had a higher chance of getting Breeze, right? Something like that. Potentially. Wildfire. Don't kill my Annie. If you kill my Annie, you are a noob. Please don't do it. Okay. Don't kill my Annie. Please don't kill my Annie. I love the little Wildfire animation, by the way, whenever it comes up. Yes, you didn't kill my Annie. Now I have a Tibbers.
It's Kythera, Annie.
I want to play a game of hide.
And this only happened because I kept Annie for last possible summon. Now we have a Tibbers, which is first action stun Heimer, execute Scrap Trap. And then another Wildfire. So yeah, we'll lead with Tibbers. 6 mana is not enough for them to solve this problem. Stun Heimer, this executes Scrap Trap. We have a fearsome attacker, we have another fearsome attacker, we have a skill attacker, and we have another fearsome attacker. And they have 6 mana. There's like not much you can do. Okay, that is a big heal. Yeah. I guess there is that. That's a good point. That's a good point. And well made. Unfortunately, for you... Unfortunately, my last card seems to be an exact lethal decimate here. Interesting. Being able to burn kill Heimer Jace by 6 through piercing. Interesting. And the last deck I have for you is one that's been coming up a lot recently in both play rate and win rate, and has also been hotly requested. That is Illaoi Volibear. Coming in with a win rate of 53.25% and a play rate of 2.31%, yes, it is very solid. Its best matchups include Nora Janna, Jinx Neela Discard, Teemo Kate, and also Bar Janna. The worst matchups are Teemo Yuumi, Jarvan Illaoi, Ashe LeBlanc, and Akshan Pantheon. So this is a really cool mid-range deck that takes aspects of like Illaoi Jarvan / Illaoi Swain, like the Illaoi half of those things, no surprises there, and also combines with like the faster version of Volibear, being able to like play him on 6 and stuff like that, and the like Volley Asol kind of stuff, but like kind of faster, and combines the concepts together. So we have like a mid-range, fast-paced, Illaoi tentacle spawning, Volibear on 6 or 7 pushing, just beat down deck. And it's really cool because we're in a really strong region now, Freljord, using Sky Splitter, which is one of the best cards in the entire set, and it's really, really good with Illaoi, and it's really, really good with tentacles, and also a new synergy between sigils, allowing Titanic allies to be summoned faster, and a Titanic ally that Illaoi really loves, being Nagaka Boros. 8 mana 5/8, so just barely makes the cut as a Titanic unit, got that 8 stat point there, and comes down earlier and is a big tentacle finisher. So this allows you to like have some really crazy game states where each game will feel like a bit different from each other, but you get like these turbo games in with like the Watchful Idols and then a couple of Valhyr's Prophets, and then you can play like Nagako Boros on 6, and that feels insane. Or you can play Volie on 7 right after, and like, I don't know, you can do some crazy stuff with this deck. We have like Rond into Naga, we have Rond into Volie, which is obviously really strong, and a bunch of different ways to get to our top end lethals. while also having a really secure tentacle early mid game. So it kind of just comes together as like just a really good beatdown deck that kind of just feels like Illaoi Jarvan, but instead of Cataclysm and Demacia, we're playing more secure Freljord stuff, better top ends, and Naga Gaboros. So that's really cool. We have Brittle Steel for frostbiting, Three Sisters also for frostbiting or buff, Watchful Idol, Mirai Warden to help control the board, Sky Splitter being, again, one of the best combat tricks ever, Tidal Invocation, which is another new card for Tentacles. Deal 1 to a unit, spawn 1 for each damage dealt. It's always just going to be a spawn 1 in here because we're not using any damage amping like kegs or anything like that. But yeah, this is pretty cool as well. You can use this in conjunction with Tentacle Smash and deal an extra 1 to things, and also have your Tentacle live by an extra 1 sometimes because you cast and then they resolve backwards, and that feels really good. So yeah, that's pretty nifty. And then we have Invocation of Thunder, which allows us to get the Sigil down, which allows us to play Naga on 7, or Volibear on 8, or Ronda on 6. And then if you stack the Sigils, you get to play them even earlier, respectively, so really nice. Tentacle Smash, like I mentioned, this is a really good combat trick, basically single combat between a Tentacle and an opponent, but you get to spawn 2 first. So if your Tentacle is already kind of like mid-size, it's just going to be able to kill pretty much everything, which is nice. The Sea's Voice, which gives your Tentacle Overwhelm, allows it to become a mid-game win con. Valhyr's Prophet, which is more Sigil synergy, allowing you to play your Titanic units earlier. And then Illaoi, who's another Overwhelm mid-game win con. If you develop her and you just get like really good opening hands that support your Illaoi playstyle, this just kind of works, so Illaoi can kill the opponent. Big Overwhelm stat stick. I, to draw and cycle, and also amp your Tentacle up, just does everything, love that. And then we have the basic Rond into Volibear top end package. This is no surprise. If you are used to Volibear decks, you will see this. And then also Naga himself. Really cool finisher with the Tantrum. You get like a bunch of big tentacles on the board and they all swing. It just looks really cool. So love to see that. And that's about it for this rundown. Now here's a live commentary game so you can see how it plays out. Now we're truly going to see which of these Volibear decks is better. Me with Illaoi or them with Formidable and a Galio. Very interesting. This is kind of the matchup that I wanted to have. So we got Warden, Invocation, another Invocation. I just now noticed that both these cards have the word Invocation in it. And Sky Splitter. This is actually a pretty good opening hand. Minus Tidal Invocation might not be the best because they don't have anything for 1. But I guess it's worth keeping in case we can like hit Broadwing or like Balin down and then we can like kill them. So maybe it's fine. It's overall just pretty solid. It has like a lot of flexibility, so I kind of like it. Volibear. We could do Invocation, draw 1, or just play the Warden. I like Warden here. Nice. We also hit Hallow, so we're going to have to pay attention to that the entire game if our Boisterous dies. I have a very, very high chance of missing a Hallow attack, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and open and then probably play Invocation after. Or set up Sea's Voice. Both are pretty good options. 0-4. Interesting. We'll do Sea's Voice. I really like the body here. And if they're not on Balin, then we can just do a Sky Splitter trade. If they have their own Sky Splitter, though, it's probably doomed. No, they have Darkened Spear. It's also a very good card. Interesting. Brittle Steel's not very useful. There's Balin. Was that off the top? Kind of mad if it was. Let's do Tidal Invocation, and then we'll do Sky Splitter to kill Balin with our Sea's Voice. And we'll chump block the Charger with our Boisterous, giving us Hallow for the rest of the game, which is kind of important. Love that. Goodbye, Balin. We could probably pull off an open and just ramp up the Tentacle a little bit. Or we can just play Illaoi here. I like Illaoi, actually. They could have Gentleman's Duel, which is kind of cringe. I can't really stop that. But it's like, better now than later.
Truth is no betting.
Better now than later. And then we'll do Invocation on defense and Naga. Okay. We get to full send. Illaoi on the far right, getting all the buffs. Yeah, this looks good. Gave the Tentacle the Overwhelm. I mean, not the Overwhelm, the Hallow, which is good. Extra damage on that.
Stay still.
What's this? Sky Splitter of your own? Could be. Can't really outplay it. Is it just goodbye Illaoi? There's no way they waited for combat to do Gentleman's Duel. If it's Gentleman's Duel, they should have done it on the summon. Before the yeah, okay. What are they doing? This is kind of weird. Wow, really? Alright, it's not really worth a brittle to keep my Warden alive. Alright. And alright, I mean, this is kind of odd. We got some extra summon damage in, so I'll take that. I guess they wanted the Sculptor to be a blocker. It makes up for it. I guess that kind of makes sense. Mage Seeker Jr. That's kind of cringe. Now these cost 3. It's pretty good outplay into me, actually. I can't do this. I could do this. Yeah, I kind of like that. I want to do the same action because if I do Invocation, they could get another Sculptor proc. And I don't really want them to have another Sculptor proc. Yeah, and then we're going to play Naga on 7. Another Charger, play Warden.
Nice to meet you. I'm Illaoi.
Mr. Thrift! That's got to be like the worst thing I've ever seen. There you go, Mr. Thrift. Go up there. And we could also probably just put C's voice down to 1. Can't really see why that would be a bad thing. So we'll do that. You can have my Mr. Thrift, bruh. I can't believe that. Alright. Slam. Naga K Boros. 6658. Pretty scary, actually. Could they be on Galio? Nope. 6-6. Yeah, no, let's just send these. Probably keep 2-1 back as blocker. Are we pressuring lethal? 8-7 overwhelm. That's gonna get the 0-5. 3-4 to 5-8 guaranteed. I think my 2-1's going in for sure then, because they're probably gonna block 3-1, 3-4 to stop having my tentacle be overwhelmed. So that means 2-1 gets to cheat a little bit. And again, keep giving the Hallow to the tentacle. Which I'm doing on accident. It's accidentally correct. I like tentacle having it. Yeah, it's one of the 3-4s to the fearsome for sure. Yeah, 8705 because it's highest HP. And then 3-4 there. Yes, that adds up exactly as I thought it would. Not only do I know what I want to do optimally, I know what the opponent wants to do too, which is kind of cool. Idle Invocation. Really? I'm surprised they would do that. That means they have to have Volibear. Because I feel like it would have been better to just play a Naka. Yeah, there's the Volie. Makes sense. Let's go ahead and do the Invocation. Then we get to keep our Tentacle alive as a 10-1 and then kind of win the game. Kind of just win. Not a lot they can do about it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I can even take 15. And yeah, I just win. We have Tantrum. The very first game I've ever played of this deck, we have Tantrum into Volie. Pass, pass. We go down to 5. They don't have direct damage for us. We don't do smash. You got that. Go ahead. Wow, okay. I guess, I don't know. Maybe getting Tantrum is more reliable than I thought even. Because this is kind of insane. Focus speed Tantrum, go. That's a free attack with a bunch of dudes. Alright, and then we would have Volibear follow-up. I love that. That's really cool. I haven't resolved Naga Boros in a long time. Minus 54, yeah, that's pretty dead, I think. Huh. That was fun. So yeah, to wrap things up, we have some extremely strong decks to play now that the meta has shaped up for a couple weeks. The power level and the degeneracy of these decks are both impressive in my opinion, but also there's a great variety of things to play. Make sure to watch last week's coverage along with this one and pick a few decks that you like. This has been Meta Report. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Laters!